Alright, today we're going to be taking a look at Transformers Combiner Wars, the Autobot Rook. He's one of the protector bots that's going to help form Defensor. So we'll take a look at him and his alt mode, and then we'll look at how he looks at both the arm and the leg mode with Defensor. So first of all, you see the packaging saying out in front of me, it is a normal type of packaging. It's got the nice black and dark red for the Combiner Wars series. You can see it does come with a comic book, Combiner Wars comic. See Rook here on the side. It shows Defensor with some of his limbs, and here's Rook right here. They have him as an arm. I think it works quite well as a leg. They have him here again, and they have him as the arm. And then you have some nice artwork here, and it says 9 steps, but this guy seems way easier than 9 steps. He almost seems like a 5-stepper, but that's just the way that it is. So I was kind of hesitant about this guy if I wanted him. I mean, obviously I had to get him for Defensor. Let's go ahead and pull him out here. I wasn't a huge fan of the hands when I first saw him online, and now that I have him in hand, I'm still thinking the hands could have been done a little bit better. I'm not a huge fan of that. Alright, so let's set him here. Here's his weapons. And then, of course, it comes with the instruction manual and all that stuff, which we don't need to look at right now. So right now, here we have Rook. And Rook is a great figure in terms of articulation, but I really feel with the whole arm thing, they could have just done a lot more. I just wasn't a huge fan of this guy. And still, if you look at him, his hand, you can see the definition on his hand there. It looks okay. He's got the blaster. I do kind of like the blaster, but his hand just seems kind of short. I wish they could have at least put the hole in there so he could have held something. And something else that really bothers me is this flap right here. Would have really been that hard to put a hinge right here where you could have just moved it over onto here to snap that shut. That would have looked a lot better. I really think that they just kind of took a little bit of extra leeway with this guy that they didn't need to do. So anyway, those are probably my two biggest complaints, and it would be just this portion of the arm. I'm just not a huge fan of that. However, in terms of paint apps and his face sculpt, this guy is really good. Let's get a good look at his face sculpt. That is, he's got this little crossbar in the front. I mean, it is so precisely machined, or whatever they did, whatever mold they stuck this into. It is great, and the coloring is perfect. He's got blue eyes. I'm not sure how well you can see him on here. He's got the very perfect Autobot logo right on the top of his forehead, and then he's got this grill almost like he's a football player, and that's really a cool look. You can see the police logo here, very spelled out nicely. You know, there's not much drifting of the paint. This is kind of blah, I think, right here. It's just kind of white. They could have done some more, because this guy is intricately detailed all over. You can see here on the back. See all this detail here? It doesn't have a lot of coloring, but the detail is pretty good. So same thing here. You can see the SWAT and the police and all the colors and the detail. But there's stuff here that could just be colored. And again, he's got the wheels, and none of the wheels are colored. They're all just straight black. So I'm going to be definitely adding a little bit of color to this guy myself with some paint apps, just because I think he's kind of lacking. But let's go ahead and look and see what he can do. So head is on a ball joint, so it can move up and down, back and forth. These are on a swivel here, so if you want, you can swivel them all the way back, but they're on a ball joint, so you can move the shoulders all the way around. This can swivel back and forth and has a non-ratcheting ratchet joint right here. So that can move. Again, there is no real hand movement. Waist, the waist can turn, because all these guys can turn when they're in the hand mode. For the giant, they have to be able to turn. And then for the legs, let's see, he's on a ball joint right here at the hip. He can also has a swivel right below, you can see right there. And if you keep that tabbed in, this can move back, so he can bend his leg up like this. And if you really want to, the way this is, you can move the foot around a little bit. It doesn't go back and forth this way, but you can move it up and down. So that's pretty much this guy. So what you can do now, he has two modes where this is his weapon. You can stick it in here straight, like it's some sort of a taser or a zapping type of weapon. Kind of looks like a taser with the two prongs right there. Or you can stick it in here, and it looks more like a sword. Let's see. So if you get it up like that, then it almost looks a little bit more like a sword. So that's pretty cool. I do like that little gimmick. I'm just not I mean, this flap right here bothers me more than anything. I just hate that hanging down. They could have such easily put that on a hinge, and they decided not to, and decided to cut a corner. And I'm just not a fan. This is a collector series. Let's put a little more effort into that. And then same thing with this. We've seen these before. You know, this can be a gun. You know, you have his blasters right there, so you can put it in here like this. You know, I've even seen how did they do it? Yeah, they bend it like this, something in like that, so you can blast it like this. You know, so that's kind of cool that you can do that. However, you know, this is right here is on a swivel, so you can move the hand up and down like that, and then the other guy can put it in his hand up here too. All right, so let's take a look at the transformation of this guy. Transformation, like I said before, cake. This is one of the easiest transformations. Let's start with this piece. Go ahead and pull this down, and you're just going to rotate these around, and you can already see where the flaps go. The arms don't peg back into each other or collapse or anything like that. And there's a little tab right here that just goes into. So it's the same thing here. Bring that in, tab, push it down. Let's see, bring this here. There we go. All right, so the head is going to go all the way around, and now you can just push this back, like just hold this up for a second, because now we're going to do the legs. And the legs, again, super easy. Push this all the way up. Let me get my... Okay, push the foot all the way up here as well. And now, just like the other ones, you're going to move the leg inside and rotate that double joint. And you can see it fits in here nice and tight. Same thing here. Bring that out. Bring that back. Now just push the whole thing in. And then like normal, you can see right here, there's tabs right here where these guys are going to tab together. So you just get that. Tab it in nice and tight. Then you have him. All you do is bring this piece down, and he fits in nice and snug with everything else. And then that is the SWAT vehicle. Now I do like the SWAT vehicle. I think the SWAT vehicle looks pretty cool. Oh, one thing I forgot to do. See, there's the head right there. Bring him back out, turn him around like that, and now flip him back. There you go. So now you don't see him. Now it looks like this from the back. But the SWAT vehicle is pretty cool. Like I said before, there's a lot of different intricacies on here. You can see they've actually painted a little silver panel here, silver panels here. These look like water jugs or extra fuel. But they have all this little bit over here that has been nicely articulated but not painted. So you got the silver on the front, yellow headlights, some blue down here. And I don't know, but I think they're probably going to repurpose this guy. Again, the first thing I will do is I will color the inside of these silver, just because it needs to be done. This is the guy I just did a review on. This is Crosscut. And you can see Crosscut has his nice and silver, and I didn't have to paint those. I do on a lot of figures, but these already came. But you know what? Maybe you like it. And the one thing I'm not a huge fan here of also is these look like toy pieces right here. You can see how it looks like a screwdriver hole where they're just snapped in, and these wheels there's nothing special about these wheels. They really are snapping wheels. You can see right in here, if I'd stick a screwdriver in there, I could just pop them off. I kind of feel they cut some corners with this guy. So where you want to carry the weapons, for me, you have a port here, ports back here, but nothing on the side. So for me, I kind of like this to be right there in the middle, and you can push this off to the side like this. You know, they do have him I think with this in the middle here, but I kind of prefer it like that. So he rolls pretty well. He does have 6 wheels, if you noticed, and that's a little different than some of the other guys. All right, so now that we've done that, let's go ahead and take a look at him back in the arm and the leg mode. And these two transformations are really, really easy, okay? And they're all going to be basically the same. So the head, you're going to move a little out of the way, pull this piece up, and snap it down. And it will actually snap into position like this. This right here is now half. Once you move these pieces like this, this is now the leg. Okay, this is the leg. It's that simple. Oops. Yeah, that simple. Oh, I forgot to do this. So it's literally like 3 steps to make him the leg. All right, let's bring Defensor up here. Let me pull back a little bit. Tilt up. All right, you can see he's the same height as the leg that's on there right now. And you know, I purposely had this be different people from different ones. So here's an Aerobot. These guys are Stunticons, and you can see these guys all look great on him. The series does a really nice job transforming in between different people. You really can almost like plug and play. So let's stick him in there. All right, so here's him with Rook. There you go. You can see he looks good. He stands nice and tall. Move him back so you can get a better look. And you can see he looks good. You know, it's a nice looking leg. If we go ahead and turn Defensor to the side, and we have a little bit of a bulk right here, but that's just the way that it is. And I guess if you wanted to, you could go ahead and grab this whole piece and move it down a little bit, but then that looks kind of odd. So just keep it up here. Okay, so once you have the leg, you're pretty much there with the arm as well. The only difference is you have to extend the leg itself. Let's see them there. Okay, so now that we have this, let's go pull these out. What we're going to do now is you need to undo these bottom leg pieces, and you're gonna have to pull them out, obviously, and then move the whole swivel thing like we did before, like you've probably seen for all the other characters. There's really no difference. Now, one thing that is different here is where you had the port right here for the foot. This is where the port is for the hand. So you want to rotate this down like this. Okay, so you put him together, and this is going to be your hand. They actually they show him like this, but I don't like it because it's so straight right here. I'm not a huge fan because this right here cannot go back. Oh, that guy's not in all the way. There we go. So I actually prefer, if you're going to have him as a hand, I would turn this and have it be like this, because now you can really curve it like an arm really could be. Because if you have it this way, which they show, you can only go like this, and it's kind of straight. I just like a little bit more of a curved look. So let's go ahead and pull. What's it, breakdown out? Let's go ahead and move the hand out. You know, as we know before, you have the hand hidden inside. It's going to be your right hand, so we're going to go like this. Go ahead and stick this in here. Okay. You see we got the nice arm. Then let's go ahead and plug him in. And there you go. So that's him with the arm. And you can see he looks pretty good. You know, you can move him around. You know, he holds up pretty well. You can do whatever you want, really. And he has a pretty good arm mode. So I can see why they have him as an arm. And, you know, really in terms of the arm, let's bring him a little closer here. You can see he's got this little extra bulk now as a shoulder. And I do kind of like the extra bulk. You know, it's tough because this guy's really slender here. You know, drag strip for this arm, where Rook is kind of bulky here. So I like them both. It just depends what you want your guy to look at. So if you look at him now, you know, what do you prefer? Do you prefer the bulk on the one side or the slenderness on the other? You know, so it's up to you. The great things about these Combiner Wars is they are all interchangeable from legs or arms. Okay, so let's take him out. And then lastly, we'll change him back to robot mode. And this is actually quite easy as well because we're already halfway there. So for the legs, put this back, snap it in, pull them out. Legs are done. Now remember, we have swiveled, so let's turn it back. Go ahead and hide his appendage inside. Not too far. And then now pull this down, head out, turn it around. Arms just come off. You can just pull them off. They're pretty easy. And you see these stupid flaps, they keep getting in the way. And last thing is to push this whole thing, his backpack, back up. And you know, even though he does have a backpack, it's not horrible looking like as it could be. So that's a good thing. All right, so this is Rook. I like him. If you're going to, I mean, if you want to make Defensor, you need him. I do not like the hands from the forearm to the hand. I think they could have done a better job. I think the white is kind of plain, but the head sculpt really is fantastic. The head sculpt is really good. I am amazed at how accurate it is, because there's so much depth here in the side, so much room in there that they could have screwed up with extra plastic or something, but it is just such a tight head sculpt. So that's him. If you have any questions or any comments, please put them in the section. Thumbs up, subscribe to this station, totally appreciate it. All right, thanks a lot and have a good day.